September 2004, Phoenix, Arizona. On the outside, the Orbins' marriage seemed golden. A charismatic businessman who hustled hard and loved big, and a striking former showgirl who could turn a room with just a smile. The money flowed, deals closed, and from the curb it all gleamed. But all that glitters isn't gold, and when the shine was gone, so was the marriage. And the husband. This is The Showgirl and the Salesman, the Marjorie and Jay Orbin case, Part 2. Hey y'all, I'm Chris Calvert.
And I'm her husband, Rob Potter. Welcome to Hitched to Homicide.
For better or worse.
Till death do us part.
Welcome back, everybody.
Yes, welcome. And for our friends over there in Nigeria.
In Nigeria.
Ekabo.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Welcome, Nigeria. Well, wherever you're listening, be sure to like, rate, and review the podcast. We love it when you do that. You can also send us emails and drop us a line on social media. And if you like the show, give us some stars and a quick comment. If you're watching today on our YouTube channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button below.
Show us some love.
We really do appreciate all our listeners. And speaking of, go join the In-Laws and Outlaws on Facebook. It's our closed Facebook group. All you got to do is go to H2H In-Laws and Outlaws, answer a couple questions you're in. And if this is your first listen with us, they are our family here at Hitched to Homicide.
Yep.
And if you love true crime, you're not going to regret it.
Mm-mm.
There's a bunch of you that were asking just this past week. I let a ton of people in.
Yeah.
You can find us on Instagram at Hitched to Homicide and on X at H2H_podcast. And we also have a Buy Me a Coffee link if you want to send Rob some coffee.
Send me some coffee, please.
I will take some Diet Mountain Dew right now.
Yep.
I'm running on empty a little bit this fall. So anything, a little chai tea, I'll take that too. I like that one.
We got a lot going on.
We do. Lots coming up, lots to tell you about later on. This case was actually suggested by one of our listeners, and today we're on to part 2. Sorry I had to break it into 2, but there was just so much information.
Yeah.
And for the rest of the month, I just wanted to give everybody a heads up. We're going to be doing some spooky paranormal true crime because it's October. Look, folks, he's not just a musician and a composer. He also does sound effects with his mouth.
Whatever it takes. I also wash windows.
He does this while we're listening to songs, too. There'll be some song, some old-fashioned song on there from the 40s or something, and he'll start playing the trumpet with his mouth.
The mouth trumpet.
And he'll harmonize with it, y'all. I mean... Exactly like that. Just a glimpse into my life.
Into her hell.
Not hell. I said into my life. Right. Listen, if you can listen to true crime, then I can listen to mouth trombones.
All right.
Before we get started today, let me thank some sources. Wikipedia, CBS News, 48 Hours, TheyWillKillYou.com, Murderpedia, Chilling Crimes, True Crime All the Time, Monsters, UPI, The Arizona Republic, and there are a couple of books, Bright Lights, Dark Deeds, The True Story of Marjorie Orbin by Samantha Reese, and Dancing with Death by Shanna Hogan. I will have links to all of those and even more sources in the show notes. There's no reason for me to go through 50 sources with y'all. You'd just be turning me off at that point or fast forwarding me.
Yeah. All right. Well, you ready?
I am.
Let's do it.
Well, Rob, when we last left off, Marjorie is shacking up with her boyfriend, Larry Weisberg, in Jay's home.
Right.
And he's been missing a little over 6 weeks when a homeless man named Robert Aim, I think I called him Robert Amy, which I apologize for, Robert. Robert Aim is on a beer run. He decides to cut through the hot Arizona desert. It's October 23rd, 2004, and at some point he decides to cop a squat.
Yeah.
Never mind that. Cop a squat.
He's going to take a load off. He decides to sit and rest. And because he's happened upon this junk, he's thinking, I'll just sit here, right?
Right.
There's an opportunity. I have a place to sit, not in the sand. And he sees this discarded mattress, and a big, heavy storage container is nearby. A Rubbermaid tub. It's nearby, and it's covered with a piece of carpet. And he looks at it closer, and the lid is actually taped shut. And so he's thinking maybe there's something valuable in there. And he finds a piece of glass, and he cuts open the tape. And when he digs through the plastic sheeting and black garbage bags, he thinks he's found rancid food. But then he sees a navel, a belly button. And he realizes what he has found is the torso of a male body.
Wow.
Now, after getting out of the desert, remember he's walking and he makes it to the authorities. It's several hours later before the police get out there. And Robert Ames is interviewed by Detective David Barnes. And Detective Barnes takes down his statement, but they send him on his way. He clearly had nothing to do with who or what was going on inside this Rubbermaid tub.
Sure.
The authorities on the scene realize that this man he's shocked. He's very disturbed by what he's found. He clearly had nothing to do with it, right?
Right.
The other thing the authorities realize is that this torso has been in the tub and in the hot desert for a while. And what they could discern was that the torso belonged to a white male who was a bit heavyset. The body was dismembered above the navel and below the knees.
Ugh.
It was headless with no limbs, and get this, the internal organs were missing.
What?
And the police are thinking, gee, where do we start with this?
Yeah.
Geez, right? You know,
Ugh.
They have a team comb through the surrounding desert area where the tub is found, and they scour the area looking for any kind of clue. And what they find are some tire tracks.
Right.
But they're so worn down that they really couldn't identify anything by them. They did find a few little bits of plastic sheeting in the brush just a few 100 feet away from where the Rubbermaid bin is found, but not much else. Meanwhile, Marjorie, who doesn't seem all that interested in the whereabouts of her missing husband, is out shopping again. She spent thousands of dollars. In the last 3 weeks, she spent all kinds of money, about $7,000.
Jeez.
But then she goes out and she buys a brand new grand piano to the tune of $10,000.
Wow.
Who are you, Liberace?
Well, if you're going to celebrate, I guess you need some music.
If you're going to have a new boyfriend,
Yeah.
you need some piano music
Oh, man.
and some mouth trumpets, apparently. But she and Larry are out having a big time. And while the lead detective on the missing persons case, Detective Butcher, is out there trying to get any information on Jay that she can, Marjorie is avoiding every single call this detective makes to her. Not only that, another detective is now on the case. His name is Detective Tommy Kalesa. Now, they start asking around about Jay to his friends and his business associates. Many of them are worried that Jay is in a ditch somewhere dead, which is every mother's nightmare. You know, your kid doesn't come home. Back in the day, I'm Gen X. I would drive, and if I was late for curfew, my mother always said the same thing.
I thought you were in a ditch somewhere.
I had you dead and buried. You were in a ditch somewhere. And that's what his friends are thinking. He's somewhere off the road in the middle of the desert, and no one has seen that his car has wrecked.
Right.
And he just hasn't been found yet. But Marjorie refuses to field these calls from Jay's friends as well as the police.
Will somebody answer that damn phone?
And she tells the police, I can't possibly take every single call that comes in from somebody who's worried about Jay. Now, does she sound like the wife of someone who is just devastated by the fact that her husband's been missing for 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's not a very good cover for her.
It is not.
Yeah.
Now, one of the most vocal and suspicious people of Marjorie's behavior and her actions was Jay's friend Mario. And Mario, like Jay's brother, Jake Jr., had been calling every hospital from Phoenix to Florida. Because remember, he went all the way to Florida and then turned around because of Hurricane Francis.
Right.
And while all of his friends are frantic and calling and having highway patrol look for his car and giving out his tag numbers, Marjorie was only concerned about money. And Marjorie is angry that Jay's mom, Joanne, is calling some of Jay's vendors and business colleagues to see if they had heard anything from her son, because then it's causing more phone calls for Marjorie. She can't be bothered. I'm very busy and important.
Yeah.
Shut up, please. I'm very busy and important.
Yeah.
When Detective Butcher and Detective Kalesa start gathering information about Jay's disappearance, they learn a few things. On the morning of September 8th, 2004 at 9:16 a.m., there's a credit card receipt showing he had stopped for gas in Phoenix, at 9 in the morning. There was CCTV footage of him driving the white cargo truck, and at 4:35 p.m. that afternoon, he stops at another gas station just a few miles from his house, and this time he is driving his green Ford Bronco.
Okay.
Now, when Detective Butcher and Detective Kalesa look into Jay's financials, they discover that he had a single signer for all of his accounts.
Mm-hmm.
A single signer on a bank account refers to an authorized person who has permission and access to transact on the account, but they do not own the funds or have any ownership rights to the account itself.
Okay.
Meaning, Jay can sign checks, but Marjorie can't get to that money. But the detectives can clearly see that thousands in cash had been withdrawn, $500 each day, the ATM limit, and there are thousands in phone transfers. And when they pull up the video at the ATM, they can see that it's Marjorie at the ATM taking out all the money.
I'm thinking Marjorie isn't a Mexican.
I was waiting for you to say that. Yeah. She was not blessed with looks and brains as well.
Good grief.
But when the detectives ask her, they like point blank ask her about this, she openly admits that she was taking money out of all of Jay's accounts because she needed money to run the house. She needed groceries and cleaning supplies.
I need $500 worth of cleaning.
She had more than that in cleaning supplies, but she needs groceries and cleaning supplies and pianos and a new wardrobe and new jewelry and new handbags.
Man.
And she tells them, I'm taking this money in case Jay's accounts get closed. So if he is dead, all of that goes into escrow, and it's going to be a while before Marjorie would have any access to it, right?
Right.
But remember, they're divorced. Do you remember this from the first episode?
Yeah.
So if she's divorced from him legally, she's not going to get diddly squat.
You'll get nothing and like it.
You'll get nothing and like it.
Spalding. She's just like Spalding.
Yeah.
She's going to get nothing. But she's not going to like it, right?
Exactly.
So, if you recall from part 1 of the case, detectives Butcher and Kalesa have asked to come to Jay's home and have a look around. And Marjorie puts them off, saying she can't because she's working at Noah's school, the son that she shares with Jay, who is 8 years old.
Right.
But Detective Butcher actually calls the school and asks the principal, listen, we're really trying to get in touch with Marjorie Orbin, and I know she's a volunteer there. Can you just tell me exactly when Marjorie is scheduled to be working at the school, and then she can't skirt the hours that we're asking to see her?
Right.
And they tell the detectives, Marjorie's not working at our school at all. Marjorie has never volunteered or worked at Noah's school.
Never.
Ever.
And this brings up the very first red flag.
Yeah, of many,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Jay's Bronco was reported being in 2 different locations between September 19th and December 27th. Neighbors had called the police because this SUV is sitting on their street, and after these folks call this in, it's just mysteriously moved, right?
Mm-hmm.
And according to 2 witnesses that Detective Butcher finds on the street, she goes to the street where it's been reported.
Right.
The Bronco's not there anymore. She starts ringing doorbells. Do you remember? Did you call in? There was a green Bronco on the street, and she finds more than one person saying that a woman with long platinum blonde hair was driving that Bronco. So when Detective Butcher gets Marjorie on the phone, she asks her, "Are you willing to take a polygraph test?" And when Marjorie repeats it, "Am I willing to take a polygraph test?" Detective Butcher can hear a male voice say in the background, quote, "Tell her to go herself," end quote.
Jeez.
And when Detective Butcher says, who's there with you? Who is that person? Who is that man? Marjorie yells at Detective Barnes and says, "It's none of your business."
Jeez.
And she hangs up. So the red flags went from like being little red flags to like a great big red flag, right?
With the finger on the spring pointing right at her.
Meanwhile, Detective Barnes, who's conducting the investigation on the torso, so there's Detective Butcher and there's Detective Barnes. Detective Butcher is the one who's on the missing persons case.
Right.
Detective Barnes is the one who's on the torso case.
Okay.
So he's conducting his investigation on the torso that they find out in the desert. And what they do have is that the torso was wearing shorts and a short sleeve shirt. And when the evidence is taken back to the police station for them to sort through, Detective Barnes crosses path with a buddy of his, Detective Tommy Kalesa. And Detective Barnes tells him, "You're not going to believe what we just found in the desert. It's a middle-aged white male torso." And Detective Kalesa looks at him and says, "That's funny. I'm working with Detective Butcher on a missing persons case of a middle-aged white man, and his wife is shacking up with a new boyfriend and spending a lot of this guy's money." And they're like, ding, 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 ding.
Could this be coincidence?
That is not a coincidence.
It's not a coinky-ding.
Yep.
And in late October, while they're getting the Rubbermaid bin out of the desert and into the medical examiner's office, another group of investigators had found a green Bronco that matched Jay's tags just a few miles from where the torso is found. Again, maybe blessed with looks, not so blessed with brains.
Oh, man.
When the police speak with the medical examiner, they find out that there was a set of keys in the pocket of the discarded body in the desert.
Really?
Now, Jay's SUV has been impounded because Marjorie reported it missing.
Right.
And all these different detectives are like, what if?
Yeah.
Just what if? What if this key fits?
What's the over-under on this?
Yeah. So they take the keys from the torso's pocket. I mean, not out of the torso's pocket. The medical examiner's done all that.
Right.
But they march him down to the impound, which is like 2 floors below in the basement. And they put this key into the ignition and voila. The green Ford Bronco that was seen being moved on the street by a woman with long blonde hair. The Bronco found in the desert near the body containing the tub. The Bronco starts from the keys of the pocket of the dead white middle-aged man.
Gee, I wonder who this guy was.
Yeah. This is Jay Orbin. They're like,
Yeah.
This is our guy.
Yeah.
This is Jay, Marjorie Orbin's missing husband. And DNA will later confirm it. Now, 3 weeks after the torso is discovered in the desert, Marjorie gets busted for forging Jay's signature at a circuit city. Are there still circuit cities?
No, they went out of business.
Probably because of Marjorie.
It's all her fault.
And when the police question her about forging this signature, she tells the authorities that she was merely replacing Jay's computers that the police had taken with them. Remember, she's telling everybody, I'm going to take over Jay's business.
Right.
Jay was on the road 2 weeks out of the year. Marjorie, a big day for Marjorie is buying a piano and getting her nails done. I don't think she's going to take to the road for 2 weeks out of the month.
Yeah.
Now, on December 28th, this is December, Detective Butcher calls Marjorie several times and leaves 3 messages before Marjorie calls her back. And when they do talk, Marjorie drops the bombshell that she and Jay weren't even married. He was her ex-husband. They had divorced for tax reasons. We talked a little bit about this in the first episode, but she hadn't told the police yet. And she says, you know, we did it for tax reasons, but Marjorie had huge debts that could have just taken down Jay's business, you know, something that he'd worked so hard for.
Right.
But she tells the detective that they were mutual friends with respect for each other, raising a child together, even though they were divorced. And when they ask her if she's dating someone and why she didn't divulge that fact sooner, Marjorie asks her, quote, "Do I need to even tell you the color of my toenail polish too?" End quote.
What's the big deal? What's the big deal?
Man, she's got some balls.
And Detective Butcher says to her, I want you to be completely honest with me during the investigation. I'm paraphrasing, right? And then Marjorie says, quote, completely honest about everything in the entire world.
The entire world.
End quote. And Detective Butcher says to her, yeah, if it's a part of the investigation, I want you to tell me. And then she asks, quote, does this relate to the investigation? End quote. And Detective Butcher says, yes, ma'am, it does. They had seen enough, they had heard enough, and that evening, while Marjorie was ordering a pizza for Noah and Larry, who's basically moved in, a SWAT team knocked ever so lightly on the front door of Jay's house. Just kidding. They busted down the door.
Really?
Yes,
Oh,
of
wow.
Marjorie and Jay's home, busted down the front door. Larry, Marjorie's man, rushes at the officers. I guess he thinks working out at the gym is going to stop a SWAT team.
Yeah.
He rushes at the officers, shouting, quote, get the out of here, end quote.
Man.
Larry is ordered to the floor, on the ground.
Yeah.
And when he does not go quietly, they tased him.
Don't tase me, bro.
Yeah, ride the lightning.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
One of the cops in my taser class at Writers Police Academy taught me that. Ride the lightning.
Wow.
They actually, and in my class, by the way, they actually tased another officer just to demonstrate. And I was like, I never, ever want to be tased.
Yeah, I've seen those videos where candidates, police officer candidates, they have to get tased. And so they know what it's like and what it feels like. And every time I see that, I'm like, is it worth being a police officer to have to get tased? Come on.
I do believe I think there are levels of tasing
yeah.
someone, and I think it's turned down lower.
Yeah.
But I will say the officer who was tased for our class when he was finished was like, okay. He was like, okay. Yeah.
I'll stay on the good side.
Yeah. He's just like, I did this for a room full of writers. Are you serious right now? Well, there were more than just writers in there. You know, the people who act out like the true crimes on the true crime shows, a lot of those actors would come to our classes too.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I just thought that was interesting.
Wow.
But they slam Larry to the floor, but he's resisting, so they tase him twice.
No.
Ride the lightning twice.
Sorry about that, Larry.
I did read that Larry took steroids, so maybe the roid rage took over and he thought he was mightier than the SWAT team. Just a heads up, people, you're never mightier than the SWAT team.
Yeah, especially when they're loaded with AK-47s.
And they've just beat down your front door.
Yeah.
Marjorie and Larry are both handcuffed and read their rights, and when they asked her who Larry was, who's the guy, she tells them, quote, that's a friend of mine from the gym, end quote. Now, there's a picture of Larry. He's bloody. He looks terrible from where he apparently hit a tile or a slate floor when he's tased.
Yeah.
They tell Marjorie about the torso they found in the desert and the keys they found in the pocket of this torso and how it started Jay's car. They tell her and Jay's parents they're pretty daggone sure that this torso is Jay. This is even before the DNA test. And Jay's family is completely destroyed over this. The worst news. They know that Jay is gone.
Yeah.
But when they question Marjorie, asking, when was the last time you saw Jay? She says, quote, see, this is the thing that really I'm terrified of sitting here and answering questions. I want to answer any questions you want to answer. I will tell you the truth. As best as I know it, I will tell you anything you want to know. But I have a little boy out there that may have lost his father, and I'm terrified of losing his mother, and I don't want to say anything that may be taken out of context. May resume this conversation during the day when I'm in front of the school with an attorney present, just to help me, just so not to stop it. She's just all over the place. And these are her words verbatim, so if it doesn't make sense, it's not me.
Yeah, okay.
I will talk to you, but just to help make sure that I don't make an error. And I don't mean to cover my behind and hide a lie. I don't mean to protect anyone else. I don't mean that at all. I just mean I have to, given what I have at stake, my life, if I'm blamed for this, I have a little boy out there that needs me. He needs his father too, end quote.
Okay. Did they bring in a translator or anything for that?
She's just kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
She's like, I want to answer your questions, but I'm afraid to answer your questions because you're going to pin this on me when I didn't do anything. And I have this little boy out there who needs me. And then she realizes at the end, and he needs his father too.
Yeah.
And that could be his dad because we don't know that that's him.
Yeah.
It could be his dad, even though the keys, started the car.
Well, it's funny whenever you hear somebody talking like this, you know that there's two things going on in their mind. Number one, they're like, okay, I got to explain this. And number two, it's like, how do they find this out? And what if they think I did it? And so she's just she's speaking out of her, what.
Yeah, and police detectives especially can see through a line of BS pretty easily, right?
Yeah. It's not their first rodeo.
No. So Detective Butcher slides a photo of what is left of Jay in this tub, and they carefully clock Marjorie's reaction.
Okay.
And you might wonder how she did react.
Yeah.
Stone cold bitch, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
She continued to deny any role in what happened to Jay, and she was actually released later that night. But while Marjorie is at the station weaving her tale, the police are combing through Jay's house. So the SWAT team's not going to come and knock down the door and escort you out without a search warrant.
Right.
And they are going through her house from head to toe. And they find the receipts for all the cleaning supplies that were purchased the day after Jay goes missing. They also see that she has acid washed the garage floor and put down an epoxy coating. She'd also painted the garage from top to bottom. She painted the ceiling of the garage. She painted everything in the garage.
And here's a person that, wouldn't do any manual labor if she didn't have to do it.
I don't want to mess up my nails.
Don't want to chip a nail or anything.
Exactly. And she's out there doing an epoxy on the garage floor. Whatever.
So there was no way to detect if there were any traces of blood. There was some cardboard that was taped over the garage windows. I mean, what's that all about?
Yeah.
In the garage, they find a storage cabinet, and inside that were cleaning supplies, including a new steam cleaner for carpet. And under the tool bench, police find an electric handsaw and an open package of jigsaw blades with two of them missing, but not the jigsaw itself. So the handsaw apparently is different than the jigsaw.
Yeah.
But the jigsaw blades, it's a new package, and there's a few of them missing.
Yeah.
These blades will match the marks on the partial remains that are found.
Wow.
Larry's clothes, inside the house, Larry's clothes were in the dresser in the master bedroom, and Marjorie's purse in the kitchen had $3,000 in cash. They also found white powder in the master bedroom. So was it Coke? Was it Noah's Ritalin? Remember, she used to crush that up and snort it, but she was also asking around for cocaine.
It was Ajax. She was cleaning
It was
in
something.
there too.
It was Ajax. Also at the house, they find all the paperwork about Jay's insurance policy. And his brother, Jake Jr., saw this as well. But something that the police clocked right away, there were no photos of Jay in his own house. They had all been taken down. So think about it. If you're married or if you're just raising a child with someone,
Sure.
I mean, there are pictures of the two of us all over the house. There are pictures of the kids all over the house, but
Right.
there are pictures of us too, with
Right.
the kids, without them.
Right.
That seems like a normal thing.
Yeah.
No photos of Jay. Meanwhile, Larry is in his own little interrogation room and he is defending Marjorie to the cops after they absolutely whip his butt. He tells them that she's a nice, kind woman, but after they let Marjorie go, she drives straight to Larry's daughter's home. Larry's been let go as well, but she drives to Larry's daughter's house and demands to see Larry. He is hiding out in his daughter's home. So think about it. SWAT team, tased twice, face mashed up or bashed up from the floor.
Right.
They let him go. He goes to his daughter's house to hide.
Hide! Hide!
I can see him being like
He's
looking from behind the curtain.
He's in the coat closet.
Yeah. And he doesn't want to come out, but finally Marjorie like causes a scene and he does come out and he tells her, "You have to leave." And that night, Marjorie and Noah spent the night in a hotel because the police are still going through every paperclip, every pair of socks, everything at her house.
Yeah.
When police start putting it all together, they find security footage from the Lowe's hardware store where she was filmed purchasing 2 containers, identical containers, to the one that Jay's torso is found in. And when they confronted Marjorie with all the tape, you know, here you are, you're buying all this stuff at Lowe's the day after, and you realize we found him in this Rubbermaid bin, and you've bought 2 of these Rubbermaid bins. I mean, this is all evidence. What do you think she does?
I have no idea.
She throws Larry under the bus.
Of course she did.
She says Larry is the one who killed Jay. He killed him in a jealous rage.
Wow.
So the police go to Larry's home and tear it apart. And what they find is that Larry had a remote to Jay's garage door. He had a garage door opener. So did he hide himself away inside this garage and wait for Jay to come home and then shoot him in the garage? I mean, nothing could prove that.
Right.
What they could prove was that Marjorie was definitely involved.
Right.
There were trace amounts of Jay's blood at his warehouse, not enough to prove a body had been dismembered. I mean, he could have cut his hand at some point.
Sure.
You just never know.
Right.
But what police did know was that sometime between September 8th and the 22nd, Jay Orbin was murdered and dismembered, but they had no idea where.
Right.
So Marjorie leaves this body where it's going to be discovered because she needs the body to claim her $1 million in insurance. No body, no death. Like,
Right.
it takes a long time for someone to be declared dead when there isn't a person, there's not a body.
Sure.
But she needs to leave him somewhere where he's going to be discovered because she wants that $1 million.
Right.
But why dismember him? And his internal organs weren't in the tub. But I want to point out from episode 1, Larry's daughter found him putting black garbage bags
Yeah.
in the dumpster in the alley behind her home.
Right.
So was Larry involved? I mean, How involved was he? Did she kill him and he helped her clean up? Did he kill him and she's helping clean up? My money's on her, but...
Yeah, the other thing, too, you said that they didn't have any internal organs and stuff. Well, if they chopped him just above the belly button and above the knee, I mean, this is kind of gross, but you can see where the organs would just kind of spill out. So what did they do with those organs?
Mm-hmm. And what were those organs in black trash bags that Larry was throwing away behind his daughter's house in the alley in a dumpster?
Man.
Yeah.
It's just beyond me.
Or was it just his trash? And remember, I said it was kind of odd. His daughter thought it was odd because her dad lived alone and he shouldn't have that much trash.
Yeah.
But he could have been throwing away Jay's clothes too. So who knows? Who knows?
I don't think he would be concerned with throwing away Jay's clothes. I think he'd be more concerned about throwing away Jay's body.
Yeah.
And parts.
True.
Oh, well.
In November of 2004, Detective Barnes got Jay and Marjorie's cell phone records, and they could follow Jay's final trip from Arizona into Texas, Louisiana, Florida, and back home. On the evening of September 8th, his birthday, remember, he wanted to come home and spend his birthday with his son and his wife.
Right.
There are hours and hours with no activity on Jay's phone, but someone checked his voicemail at 9:44 p.m., and that call pings the tower near the Orbin house. So police believe he was murdered between 5 and 6 p.m. in his own garage on his birthday, and that is where his phone was. The next 2 weeks, Jay's phone was in Phoenix, pinging the tower nearest his own home, and the calls made on September 20th, remember, where there was nobody speaking on the other end?
Yeah.
Those ping the same tower near Jay's home, and they compare this forensic analysis of his phone to Marjorie's phone, and they determine that she was driving around with both phones. She'd been in possession of his phone the entire time.
Wow.
Since she said he never came home. She'd had it that whole time.
Jeez.
Now, after they see the footage of Marjorie at Lowe's, they actually find the receipt, remember, at the house, and the detective went to Lowe's, and he buys every single item Marjorie bought on September 10th, including the black garbage bags and the plastic sheeting, and it all matched. And what was found in the desert with Jay's partial remains was identical to what they bought at Lowe's. And get this. The police contact Rubbermaid and find out that this particular type of Rubbermaid container, it's only sold in Lowe's.
Wow.
And the Scottsdale Lowe's, where Marjorie buys everything, is one of the few locations that sold that particular tub. So they take all this evidence to the DA and issue a warrant for Marjorie's arrest. They go to her door on December 6th and arrest her at the front door while she's on the phone with her attorney, Tim Connolly. So I can only assume she sees the flashing lights out in front of her house.
Yep.
She quickly calls her attorney. And what do you think he says to her?
Go with them.
But what else?
You keep your mouth shut.
Don't say anything.
Keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
And Marjorie doesn't say one word. The police explain to Jay's brother, Jake Jr., all that they have on Marjorie, and Jay's family finally knows that Marjorie murdered their brother, their son. That same weekend, after she's taken into custody, Jay's remains were cremated. They've never found the rest of him.
Wow.
So they have Marjorie in custody, and of course they believe Larry Weisberg is also a suspect in Jay's murder, but they have zero proof. And while Marjorie is going to say that Larry killed Jay in a jealous rage, Larry agrees to be interviewed with his attorney in tow only if he is offered immunity from prosecution. I'll tell you everything I know, but I want immunity from prosecution.
That's a tough one, because if you think that he actually murdered him, you're going to give him immunity?
And they do.
Wow.
And when Larry gets into a room with Detective Barnes, he says, quote, "I don't know anything about what happened to Jay Orbin. I never met Jay Orbin. I have never spoken to Mr. Orbin. I have never been around him or anything else. The only way, whatever, I got information about Jay was through Marjorie Orbin," end quote. But remember, they didn't find anything at his house except for a garage door opener.
Right.
Which could have just been his way to come in and out of the house because he basically moved in.
Yeah.
He does tell the police that when Jay went, quote, "missing," end quote, he told Marjorie to go to the police and report him missing. And when he asked her if she had heard from Jay, she tells him, according to Larry, that she's reported him missing. But that was about 10 days before Marjorie actually does report Jay missing.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's only when his family basically forces her to.
Right.
I also read that after Jay's family took custody of 8-year-old Noah, and they noticed something strange once this little boy was now in their family. His older brother takes him. And they noticed something really strange because as his hair grew out, they realized that Noah was a brunette. He's 8 years old, and Marjorie had been bleaching his hair since he was a toddler.
What?
She's bleaching this little boy's hair.
This woman is just off her rocker.
I mean, she bleaches her own hair, too.
Yeah,
I mean, she's definitely a bleach blonde.
Sure.
She's not a natural blonde by any stretch of the imagination.
Right.
Marjorie pleads not guilty to murder one, which is what she is charged with.
Mm-hmm.
In February of 2005, the prosecutor announced that he would be seeking the death penalty.
Yep.
The trial was supposed to begin in April of 2005, but over the next 4 years, the date is pushed back and delayed over 10 times.
Why?
That's karma, Marjorie.
Why was it pushed back?
Well, there are a couple different reasons I'm going to tell you in just a second.
Okay.
But after Marjorie is arrested, people started coming out of the woodwork. And one of them was Marjorie's 5th husband. Remember, she's married 7 times.
Right.
He said that toward the end of their 2-year marriage, he and Marjorie weren't getting along. And during a fight, he had threatened to kick her butt out of the house. And the next day, he can hear Marjorie on the phone with her girlfriend saying she's going to kill him.
Oh.
She's going to lure him into the bathtub, and then she's going to throw a TV in the water.
Good Lord.
Then a few days later, he's in the kitchen of their house, and Marjorie comes up from behind and whacks him in the head with a frying pan. Nothing says I want a divorce like hitting a man over the head with a frying pan, right?
Sounds like a Three Stooges episode.
I mean, it's, it's Looney Tunes. It's, Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
These two divorce soon after. Surprise, surprise. But this incident was never reported to the authorities. So now they're like, okay, she's capable of violence. By the time the trial actually takes place in 2009, the prosecution had tacked on 4 more felony charges for theft and fraud against the estate of Jay Orbin, with each of these charges carrying a maximum of 5 years in prison. So think about this. They're like, if we don't get her on murder, we've got 4 counts, 5 years, we're putting her away for at least 20.
Right.
But there was a moment when some believed this was going to end in a mistrial. And this is to answer your question.
Okay.
Because the prosecutor, Dan Levy, was forced to withdraw due to illness. And the lead detective, Detective Barnes, was being investigated for criminal charges. And the public records don't disclose the specific nature of these charges against Detective Barnes or the outcome of this investigation, because I looked. But because she's under investigation and the DA is sick, it gets delayed 10 different times.
Gosh, what a circus.
That's karma there for Marjorie, right?
Yeah.
Opening arguments begin on January 29th, 2009. The state's theory goes like this. Marjorie had become disgusted with her loving husband. He gave her this baby she desperately wanted, but ultimately he had outlived his usefulness. She no longer wanted him. What she did want was his money, and she was the kind of woman accustomed to getting her way. So once she decided that she wanted him dead, it was only a matter of time. This is what they're telling the jury.
Right.
She waited for him to get home, got his gun out of his briefcase, because he did carry a gun in his briefcase, and shot him in the garage. After she killed him, she hacked his body into pieces. The autopsy showed that the cuts through his tibia and vertebrae were consistent with a jigsaw. And the police just so happened to find that package of similar blades inside her garage. The gun and the saw are never found, and neither was the rest of Jay's body. And remember how I said people were coming out of the woodwork to talk about Marjorie?
Right.
Well, the prosecution put Marjorie's former cellmate, I mean, she's in jail for a while awaiting trial.
4 years.
So they put her former cellmate, Sophia Johnson, on the stand. And according to Sophia, Marjorie was all too eager to talk about what she had done.
Really?
Her cellmate testified that Marjorie often referred to her murdered husband as fat and disgusting, and even recounted the events of the murder. In fact, she spoke at length about how she shot him in cold blood, froze the body, thawed it, and then removed his head and limbs. And Marjorie denies all of these allegations.
Wow.
But the medical examiner says, when he does the autopsy on Jay's remains, that because of how clean cut the jigsaw
Right.
went through the skin,
Right.
the medical examiner believed Jay's body had been frozen, less blood.
Yeah.
Her legal team attacked this ex-cellmate's credibility. They say, she's just an opportunistic snitch, and she's got something to gain. But the prosecutors assured the jury that the only thing Sophia Johnson was gaining during this trial was a long, tedious day with y'all in the courtroom. She's getting nothing from this.
Right.
As for getting any sentencing leniency, they put that notion to rest as well, and then they called their next witness, Larry Weisberg himself. He hadn't seen Marjorie in 5 years, and now he's about to give the court his side of the story in exchange for his immunity, of course.
Yeah.
He told the court that she was a self-assured temptress
She's a wily temptress.
who lured him into a twisted love triangle. But once Jay's body was found, her confidence faltered. She was terrified, according to Larry. She pleaded with him to run away with her. He also denied having any knowledge or involvement of what happened to Jay. The defense took issue with that particular statement. They reminded the jury that this was the guy with the temper. He was violent and impulsive enough to try to take down a SWAT team. He was angry enough to curse up a storm while his girlfriend was on the phone with a detective. Remember?
Yeah.
He's like, it's none of your effing business.
Yeah.
And he would be the one strong enough to move a 280-pound corpse around. In other words, he could have killed Jay just as easily as Marjorie.
Right.
Now, the defense explained that Marjorie really had no motive to kill Jay. They had a friendly, if platonic, relationship, and Marjorie got a very nice allowance. She never wanted for anything. Then in the summer of 2004, Larry Weisberg seduced her. Oh, poor Marjorie.
I'm the victim.
So before Jay left for his trip to Florida, the defense said he was aware that Marjorie was having an affair, and Larry got access to the garage using the remote Marjorie had given him. And when Jay came home, he was surprised to see another SUV in the garage. There was a confrontation, and Jay was killed. What was missing from her defense, though, was anything that could explain her behavior after Jay goes missing.
Right.
They seemed to accept that Marjorie wasn't totally innocent, even though her attorney never said that Marjorie had known Jay was dead. So while her defense implied that Marjorie helped with the cover-up, there was no testimony about cleanup of the garage or the cell phones pinging off the same towers. There was no disputing that Marjorie bought these Rubbermaid storage containers. How can they dispute it? They've got it on camera.
Yeah.
But they say she also had many other plastic tubs in her garage. Larry could have used those tubs to frame Marjorie for the murder. But then if Marjorie's story was true and Larry killed Jay in the garage of their home, why wouldn't Marjorie report this crime?
Right.
Why would she lie to Jay's family and friends after Jay disappeared? There were just as many questions only Marjorie could explain.
Right.
But then she never took the stand in her own defense. They said, Marjorie, you're pretty, but
you're not the brightest bulb.
we don't trust you on the stand.
Right.
And the defense rested its case on August 30th. Then over the next 2 days, the jury deliberated for a total of 6 hours. On Friday of that week, they broke for the weekend. The next week, one of the jurors was out sick, so deliberations were delayed for another week. Then on September 14th, the jury reconvenes, and after just 1 more hour of deliberation, they had a verdict. Marjorie Orbin was found
Guilty.
guilty.
Yeah.
She was sentenced to life in prison with no chance of parole, so they didn't use the death penalty.
Right.
The rest of Jay's remains, they've never been found.
Right.
Now, Marjorie appealed the ruling in 2011, and her convictions and sentence were upheld. Years later, she would claim that she had been deceived by her defense team and was under the impression that there was enough reasonable doubt to make taking the stand unnecessary. They had it in the bag. They told me they had it in the bag.
Yeah. It's everybody else's fault,
Yeah.
not mine. Right.
But there's still a lot of things that the prosecutors hadn't found. There's no murder weapon. There's no eyewitnesses. There's no concrete evidence that she was actually there during the murder or the disposal of Jay's remains.
Right.
She says she feels sorry for not being able to tell her side of the story in court, but the truth is, it doesn't matter about her story. All the available evidence is pointing directly at her, and that was a strong enough case in itself.
Right.
Only one person stood in her favor, the millionaire strip club owner that she had dated after her first breakup with Jay. He testified he'd actually offered to take care of Marjorie and Noah if they could get back together. Really?
Yeah.
So they're saying, look, he's going to take care of her, and he makes a ton of money. And if she was really out for a payday, she could have just moved on and had this relationship with him instead.
All I can say is he's lucky that she didn't take him up on it.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
I mean, he apparently didn't talk to the guy who got hit on the head with a frying pan.
Yeah, exactly.
But they also say, you know, if it was like the shopping sprees and the new piano and stuff that she wanted, there was really no need to kill Jay. All she had to do was just leave him. In the end, it wasn't enough to overcome the case against her. And after this 8-month trial, she's guilty.
Right.
Jay's older brother, as I said before, actually took custody of his 8-year-old nephew, Noah, and that's, I believe, where he lived as he was growing up. He's a grown boy now.
Sure.
Marjorie Orbin, well, sources show she is serving life without the possibility of parole at the Arizona State Prison Complex in Perryville. No recent successful appeal or release motion is documented in this case, and there's no news of any new appeals coming up as of 2025.
Okay.
But good news, fellas
Right.
or gals. You can write to Marjorie in prison. I will post that address in the show notes. It's called The Inmate Connection.
No,
And
geez.
she's got a picture of herself in a pink bikini. And this is what her profile says. Quote, growing up in Miami, Florida, the sunshine and water were a big part of my life. Playing on the beach, diving, sailing, and horseback riding were some of my favorite things to do. Being a little girl and ballet class was the start of a lifelong love of dance. I had a wonderful career as a dancer and choreographer from Disney World. Didn't see that anywhere. Cruise ships to Las Vegas shows, even dancing in music video Motley Crue's Girls, 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 to name one. Traveling all over the world. I've had many exciting adventures. Then one day, one unforeseen incident changed everything, but I do my best to be positive and productive and to create a meaningful life for myself. I am healthy and super fit. I'm hot, aka I'm still hot. I work, teach aerobics classes, and read. I miss traveling, the ocean, good food, interesting friends, and romance. I would like to make new friends from the real world. Please write me directly. End quote. It's almost like a Playboy write-up or whatever. She's the playmate of the month, and these are all the things she likes and does and how she grew up, right?
It's like prison dating service.
Yeah. So if you're interested, I will put her prison address in the show notes.
Wow.
Marjorie has continued to say that Larry is the person who killed Jay, but we're never going to know if he had a part of it, right?
Yeah.
But that is the story of Jay Orbin and his wife Marjorie and her deadly greed. And that's all I have to say about that.
Okay, my take on this, actually, it's kind of like a title.
Okay.
This whole case should have been called The Praying Mantis.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of people call her the Black Widow.
Well, the praying mantis is,
Rips his head off.
Yeah, the female, after they get done mating, she rips his head off and they're done.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what she did.
That's a good metaphor.
Yeah.
I feel the most sorry for Jay's family.
Yeah.
But in particular, their son.
Yeah.
He was very much wanted. She wanted to have a child. Jay wanted to have a son. They spent all kinds of time, playing catch, and Noah was Jay's whole world.
I wonder if he has any contact with her.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I just hope that Noah has gone on and had a good and productive life. I know that Jake Jr., Jay's older brother, was, his family, the whole family on that side, they're just wonderful stand-up people. I do know that Jay's parents have both passed away since all of this. I did see that online, but I just hope that Noah has had a good life from that moment forward, because he didn't ask for any of that, and it's not his fault.
Yeah. Well, let's hope that Noah's doing well and that she's going to rot in jail. There you go. So besides
she does aerobics.
Yeah. And besides that, let's move from that and do a little bless your heart.
Well, bless your heart.
All right, number one, I'm calling The Real Thing. Not.
Isn't that Coke? It's the real. I'm Gen X again. I keep harping on my Gen X roots here.
Yeah.
That was a commercial.
It was. All right. An armed robbery this week at a South Carolina convenience store apparently wasn't as armed as the clerk thought. Reports say that the incident at a quick stop in the small town of Sharon, that's in South Carolina. I actually know where that is. Oh. Yeah. Where a man donning a hoodie, wig, and mask entered the store around 5:45 p.m. per a release from the York County's Sheriff's Office.
Okay.
According to authorities, the suspect pointed to the gun in his waistband and ordered the clerk to hand over whatever cash was in the register, and that was about $300.
Okay.
Deputies tracked down his name. Let me try to get through this one. D'Alessandro, in the parking lot of a nearby Dollar General. It's always a Dollar General.
Well, he only had $300.
That's true. And placed him under arrest. They say the pistol he used that was tucked in his pants, except it wasn't an actual pistol. It was a fake gun used to play the Nintendo video game Duck Hunt, spray painted black, which could appear to mean that D'Alessandro couldn't be busted for an actual armed robbery.
No.
But not quite. Because in South Carolina, even the mere representation of possessing a deadly weapon that a witness reasonably believes to be a real gun is enough to hit someone with those charges.
Yeah.
Per the sheriff's office, D'Alessandro, who was charged with the armed robbery with a deadly weapon, petty larceny of less than $2,000, and wearing a mask and is being held without bond in the York County Detention Center. He awaits trial.
Here's what I got out of that.
Yeah.
He had a hoodie, a wig, and a mask.
Yeah.
Did he need all of that? Did he just have a mask like a old time bandit mask across his eyes, and so he needed the wig and then pulled the hoodie? That's a lot, a little bit of overkill for me, but
Well,
okay.
He was a big fan of the Lone Ranger. All right, number 2, slow down there, Speed Racer.
Oh, that's what Rob says to me all the time, y'all, all the time.
2 Alabama men have been arrested over an audacious but extremely ill-advised theft.
Okay.
The Russell County's Sheriff's Office said in a Facebook post, whatever you want to say, Facebook post Tuesday that Gabriel Mendoza Garcia and Steve Jerome Spann were arrested Monday for allegedly stealing a speed warning trailer that belongs to the sheriff's office.
So are these the ones that like you put the messages on?
No, the ones, like we've seen a couple in
It's like
adjoining neighborhoods.
it's like 35 and you're going 39. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay.
And they're solar powered, so they don't have to. Yeah.
Okay.
It appears they were trying to get the batteries to sell the batteries out of the unit, Sheriff Heath Taylor tells the Ledger Enquirer. Batteries are bringing a high dollar value now.
Okay.
Both men have been charged with first-degree theft and property and first-degree criminal mischief. Taylor says the suspects were tracked down through the trailer's GPS.
Oh.
WRBL reports that the trailer is also equipped with a camera which captured the video of the
Oh my
theft.
gosh.
It just shows you that we've got crazy people running around, the sheriff says.
I mean, seriously. No one, they're not going to put anything out that doesn't have GPS. We have GPS on Scotty.
I know.
mean, we have an air tag on the dog. Yeah.
All right, number 3, and finally.
Finally.
Kids, please stay in school.
Yes.
Here's one reason you might want to pay attention to your spelling lessons, kids. They may come in handy one day, should you ever want them to. Behold the strange case of Jacqueline Patrick. The 55-year-old British woman tried to fatally poison her husband not once but twice back in 2013 by putting antifreeze in his wine, Reuters reports.
Yikes.
After the second attempt, she handed the ambulance drivers a note that she claimed he had written. In it, her 70-year-old husband asked not to be resuscitated because he wanted to die with, I'm gonna pronounce this the way it's spelled, dignity. Dignerty. Police, noticing the misspelling, asked Patrick, the woman, the wife, to spell the word dignity, and she misspelled it as dignity, thus providing the fateful clue. Yeah, Patrick ended up being arrested and on Monday sent to jail for 15 years after she pleaded guilty to 2 counts of attempted murder, The Guardian reports. The couple's 21-year-old daughter also admitted to urging her mother to poison dear old dad.
Oh, wow.
Who ultimately survived, thank God, and was sentenced to 3 years in jail. Yikes. Also not helping their case were text messages between the mother and daughter that said things like, I got the stuff, I will give him some later, and then deleted the text. And he feels sick again, I gave him more, and then delete this. She's not only spelling challenged person in trouble with the law. Gosh.
Because, there are like, do not resuscitate, a DNR.
Sure.
You can sign those and be like, look, if I go, don't be pumping on my chest. And she's like, he wrote one out for you. It's right here.
He took care of everything.
Yeah. And they're like, is this a DNR? Is this a do not resuscitate? No, he wants to die with dignity.
It's just the dumbest.
I'm just glad he survived.
Yeah, me too.
He survived stupid.
There's your dumb criminals.
Well, if you have a bless your heart, or you know somebody's heart who needs blessing or some spelling lessons, all you got to do is go to hitchedtohomicide.com. When you get there, you can find a pull-down menu, and while you're there, you can also tell us about your brush with true crime or suggest a case like this one was suggested. Next week, we're going to start some paranormal, spooky October. Here we go again. Some true crimes that have a paranormal side to them. Right. Until then, that is my amazing husband out there.
That's my beautiful bride in the booth.
Join us next time on Hitched to Homicide.
Bye, y'all.